Pass by so slowly. The days fell on the knees. Maybe I'll take something to help me. Won't someone take after me? There's always some change in the weather. This time I know we could get it together. If you would stay here tonight, that would be crazy tonight. Stay. That's what I meant to say, or do something. But what I never say is stay. This time I really meant to so bad. This time, 'cause you can never really tell when somebody wants something you want to. Life can be vague when it's sent someone new. This time tomorrow I'll know what to do. I know it's happened to you. Stay. That's what I meant to say, or do something. But what I never say is stay. This time I really meant to so bad. This time, 'cause you can never really tell when somebody wants so much to stay. That's what I meant to say, or do something. But what I never say is stay. This time I really meant to so bad. This time, 'cause you can never really tell when somebody wants something you want to. Stay.
like when you finish a number like that and you hear those screams? That's got to be something else.
Oh, it's my drummer.
Oh, he did it?
Yeah.
Oh, and he's gone. What a shame.
Yes.
No, I mean, you didn't have anything to do with it? The boy singer had nothing to do?
Yes, of course I did.
No, how do you feel after a moment like that? You give so much of yourself.
But no, not really. Every time I think that I should do it again.
Do you?
Yes.
I think we all do.
I never, hello?
Hello?
Excuse me.
There are so many David Bowies. In the opening of the show, I showed some photographs.
Yeah.
Rather bizarre photographs, some of them. And I don't know how much of them were doctored up with electronic lighting and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Have you got those photographs?
Can I see them again?
Yeah. I want you to see them. Yeah. And I want you to tell me about each one of those David Bowies. Now,
so that was a...
They love that.
Yeah. That was a character from a sort of a non-rock concert thing called Diamond Dogs. He was called Halloween Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you, and that one? Okay.
That was, well, I don't know. I've been living in New York for some time, so I was wearing a lot of Puerto Rican clothing.
Yeah. But, David, you're inspired. I mean, there is no set costume. There is no set feeling for the concert that you'll give as David Bowie. Whatever it is that you're influenced by at the moment, wherever you happen to be ethnically, that...
It tends to be like that, yes. I'm easily saturated. I get... I'm very sort of faddy, very flirty.
Yeah.
I'm quite a rock fan. I get influenced by other bands, other artists, and I tend to sort of steal things from them.
You're being very modest.
No, not at all.
Steal things for you?
I think that's one of the most important elements of rock and roll.
Interestingly enough, some of the moves today and the costume that you have on today, which isn't really a costume, I think of as being the sort of thing that was from the 30s, really.
Well,
is that the feeling of it?
Yes, very much.
The music was.
But there's a sort of a European wave happening, and a lot of the sort of the stylization is. I've got a favourite songwriter and band in England called Roxy Music. There's a character with Brian Ferry. Who I think is probably spearheading some of the best music that's come out of England in years.
We're taking a lot of time talking about Dinah. There's so many things I want to know about you, and I've got... Ooh, I like that. I've got Henry and Nancy over there, and they've got a bunch of questions they want to talk to you about too. Everybody wants to find out a lot more about David Bowie, so we'll be back right after this with some... Nancy?
Yeah, baby.
No, I just want your honest reaction to the opening song David did.
Well, I have never seen David perform in person before, and I love watching him.
Yeah, he's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, I love
Oh, I thought you were going to say no. Go ahead.
Oh, them or me?
Yeah, no, them.
Oh, them. But I have a thing. I was brought up on Porter and Gershwin, and Rodgers and Hart, you know.
Hoagie Carmichael.
And I'm afraid I'm stuck with them. But now we're back in fashion, all of us.
Yeah, oh.
I mean, me whistling them, and they're being played, and
that's right.
People like Manhattan Transfer do songs from the 40s. I understand what's happening.
I was just saying to David that the costume, now this is the outfit that they wear when they do the 30s outfit, the Manhattan Transfer, they wear the wide trousers and that sort of thing. And Fonzie, of course, is the idol of the 50s. He is what is known...
Absolutely.
He's the David Bowie of Happy Days.
I'm a great fan of Fonzie, and I have a lot of admiration for Henry as an actor as well.
Yeah,
well, that's lovely. Thank you. I'm very flattered because I certainly can return the compliment. You know, in everything that we do, in whether you're a singer or an actor or a dancer, that we talked about this backstage for a second. I just had a chance to meet David. Concentration is of the essence. In the structure comes the freedom. And whatever people see David as, what the mind that goes on behind all of that. He is aware of every note that is played by every musician in his band. He is aware of every movement that his dancers make. He is in control of his aesthetic weight.
You know, that's
it's incredible.
So interesting thing about Henry here now. He started with a lovely, mild little television show that everybody was amused at and thought was charming. And it's one of the most successful shows on the air now. Yeah. And everywhere you go, we had one of the girls, both Laverne and Shirley on, and they said that they had gone to Milwaukee and followed you in there. And that the people, it's like with you, they scream, and thousands of people come to the airport, thousands of people crowd the hotel because they want to know, and you weren't even there, but they wanted to know what's the Fonz really like. And I could tell them, and I'm not
he's
going.
Cool.
Yeah, he's really cool. You know, this is a nice, really sweet, gentle fella, and we've worked together a large number of times.
And
now.
it's my pleasure.
No, but I wonder, you have more and more fans now, more and more adulation. How do you handle it?
How do you handle it? That's a really good question. I spend a lot of time thinking. I have a theory that an actor can never be more than he is as a human being. His characters can be different, but his soul cannot. So if I don't get it together, you know, then, and I start to get to think that I am more than I am, if I forget that I am Harry and Ilsa Winkler's son, and I chose to do this, it's my profession, that cockiness will not only kill me as Henry, it will kill me as an artist. So the way people approach me is the way that I will relate to them back. If they come, I mean, they're telling me, I like what you do with your life. How, that's phenomenal.
Do you find that fans want to know about you or Fonzie?
Well, I started a national campaign as soon as I went on television that Henry Winkler was the reality and Fonzie is my fantasy. And now all the people know that, or a lot of the people know that my name is Henry, and they want to find out about Henry, too.
I wanted to ask you, Nancy. Now, Nancy is one of the few people, she bicycles from one television show and starring on Macmillan and Wife, and then she stars on Rhoda.
Yes.
And she's in demand for about 15 other projects that are steady projects. I don't mean the kind of thing that'll be a one-time shot. Everybody, there is a Nancy Walker part. And that's been harder to handle than the days when Nancy Walker said, well, if I can get this part, I'll be so happy. Right. I mean, just glad to be alive.
Right. I look back on those days with a little more energy than I have these days.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
But it's been a fantastic 2 years. It really has. And it was murderously tiring, but I was very grateful for them. And this fall, we start our own show. Not we. I start my own show.
Yeah. I think that really is such a... They have lovely things they do over there at that place. When someone emerges from that show, and rightfully so, they build a program around them, and they surround them with the best writers and the best producers. It'll be great.
Well, fingers crossed.
David, you know, you're a puzzle to a lot of people, and we touched on it a little bit over there, because there are a lot of David Bowie.
Yeah.
There's really only one. You know,
here tonight, yes.
Very, yeah. Well, there are a lot of shadows. No, but by that I mean, for instance, you said you took that from that period and this from that period, and this you were influenced by this because you had been in New York and the Puerto Rican costume had fascinated you.
Yeah.
But do you feel that this keeps you with the times or way ahead of the times?
Well, I started as a painter.
As an artist?
Yes. But I found I was a natural ham. I just hammed everything.
You just wanted to be out in front.
For me, rock and roll was a superb way of releasing those kind of, you know, excitements, and one could adopt any character at all. And I found that rock and roll is probably one of the newest Western medias, and it interested me, and I wanted to play around with it.
And you had never sung before that time? You'd never fronted a band?
No, I still act the songs rather than sing them. I interpret songs, and I thought, well, if the French chanson thing they can get away with sort of talking the songs, then I can get away with talking.
All it needs is intention.
But, you said there were some things you wanted to change about yourself?
Oh, yeah.
What were they?
It's the policy of being a self-invented man, is that you sort of strip yourself down and decide what you don't like about yourself and what you won't admit about yourself, and eventually come face to face with it. And then you have to decide whether you're going to try and change it or not. And
What didn't you
perpetually
like
in that the one thing I didn't like was being terribly shy, an incredibly shy person. So I overcompensated. I thought if I gave myself an alarming kind of reputation, then I would have to learn to defend myself and therefore come out of myself, sort of.
That's very interesting.
Well, it was sort of, yes, it seemed
Because you'd think
quite
people would
logical.
sneak into being, making people aware of them, but you said, if I'm aggressive, they're going to get mad at me and I'm going to have to defend them.
Absolutely.
That's really
All change
interesting.
comes from fire.
Yeah.
Two chemicals come together when there's fire under them.
Be right back.
From Fleet Fest.
You know, I'd like to interrupt for a second, okay? Is that possible? Okay, yes.
Your heart desire.
See, I get a lot of mail, and everybody asks me if there's a Fonzie T-shirt. See, so I finally got the idea that if a lot of people want them, so I went to my godson's father, Donnie. My godson's father,
It's a
Donnie.
godson's
He's
father.
an artist.
Very complicated.
And I asked him to design a T-shirt, a Fonzie T-shirt. This is so great. Sparing no expense on the wrapping.
Yeah.
I have here an old envelope. However,
we have here.
I would like, on the air here, for the first time in history, I would like to give you the very first
Unveiling?
Fonzie T-shirt ever recorded in the history. Now, I have to tell you that he designed the T-shirt. Donnie designed the T-shirt, and I made one correction, that the color on the back of the T-shirt will only be the color of 1,200 shirts. So only 1,200 people in this country will have one
The
color.
red, you mean.
Where do
The
they
red.
get 'em?
If they write to me at ABC.
Okay. Right. And Kara, happy day.
Happy days, yeah.
ABC. Okay.
But
And then what happens after the 1,200?
After the 1,200, the Fonz will become a different color.
That's right.
I love that idea. I would like to have a T-shirt that only 1,200 people own.
I've got the first one, though.
You do. That's the first one. Yes.
I'd like a T-shirt that
You-
600 million people had, wouldn't you? Really?
You would like a T-shirt that 600 million people had.
Well, the only place, let's see, you have to go to China.
David, I don't think so.
We can get you.
I don't think so. There are certain things that I would want that 600 million people would have.
Yes.
Like what?
One of them, 600 million people should have peace of mind.
Ah.
But in a T-shirt.
Yeah. We have some quotations
We do.
from
We do.
David Bowie. And I thought perhaps every once in a while we do give interviews, all of us.
I'll go and get the next song ready, shall I?
No. But we do give interviews, and occasionally some of them we're putting the world on, and sometimes we're serious about it.
Yes.
But now I have met your lovely wife,
Angie?
Angela. I was on television. And they have a son called Zowie Bowie. Zoe Bowie. So, and I know that right now, Angela was going to be here today, but she's cooking dinner at home for you and Alice Cooper and
Ray Bradbury.
And Ray Bradbury. So, I mean, Angela is the typical...
It's a sport.
That's right. She's a good sport.
Well, those
But
are
it
great
says-
guests. Those are very inventive guests. to
Yeah.
have.
Wouldn't that be a fun party? I'd like to
Whoa,
be
Alice
invited to
Cooper and Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
Can I come?
that. Alice. Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
Can you cook?
I can't cook, no.
Can
But I'm
you
terrific.
serve?
No, I can bring a cake.
All right.
I'm very good at bringing cake.
Do you do windows on Thursday?
I do windows on Thursdays.
Listen, the line that David has about marriage and about having married Angela is that I don't think we fell in love. I've never been in love, thank God. What do you mean by that?
I have a vast capacity to love, but the one time that I found that I was falling in love, it became obsessive to a point where the object of that affection was becoming overblown. It was no longer a real thing. It was becoming my search for some kind of mythological feeling that man is supposed to have, and probably the feeling that man eventually develops for an awareness of God.
You were endowing?
Yes.
The person you loved with those qualities?
There's the old thing about the person goes up on a pedestal.
Yeah.
Terrible onus for that person, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's even harder on the other person.
But do you feel that you're having loved someone that heavily is a burden?
In love, I think they're very strong. They're very different. I think they're very different indeed. Loving somebody truly and wholeheartedly and being in love are two very different conditions. I don't think being in love has anything to do with loving somebody.
I see. Oh, I thought the two were rather synonymous.
No, I don't think they are at all.
You mean you can love large numbers of people, but you can be in love in an obsessive way that can drive you out of your mind?
Yes, and it may have
And it almost has nothing to do with that person.
Yeah. To care for the other person. It's to satisfy something that needs to be fulfilled in oneself.
But you don't you think you miss a lot by not feeling those passions, those angers?
Yes, one feels the passions of loving somebody, where you want to care for them and have them share but share their life.
I see.
And help them achieve what they want to achieve.
Right.
But when you're in love, you want them to be perpetually with you.
I see. That's interesting.
It is the pure form of love, allowing the other person to nurture themselves into their potential.
Well, then that's better than being in love. What he's saying is that in love is grabbing and holding, and loving is like expanding.
Absolutely. The concept is is greatly overused in the United States. We have greeting cards where the couple is standing by the river and the sun is coming through the trees. And what people forget is that the light is that way for only 10 minutes a day. And it is perpetrated on us to be that way all the time, which is not the truth.
Impossible.
But it's not the truth.
That's right. That loving is many wonderful moments, and if you pick out the ones where the sunlight isn't shining, they might outnumber the ones that are glorious.
Companionship has to give full rein to all the other emotions that are part of the human makeup.
Right.
They have to be the real ones.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you have a quotation?
I have a quote which is very interesting. Now that I heard what you said before, we know you are an innovator. That is not a written line. That is the truth. People have taken your original style and tried to make it their own. You did, however, say at one time, Dave.
David,
that if you were an original thinker, you would not be in rock and roll.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not an original.
Rock and roll has been very good to you.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And you have originally
I've been very
made.
good to rock and roll.
Absolutely. You have. That is absolute truth. You have made an original rock and roll style.
Yes.
You know, and I was wondering what you meant.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. There's a writer in England called Colin Wilson, who very early on, among the new English writers in the 50s, became known as a translator of the philosophers and the great thinkers of the 20th century, and was able to write them in such a way that everybody else could understand those great minds. And he had a facility for understanding and then passing the information. He was a translator. He became a medium himself. He was a medium. And I like to flatter myself. I think that's what I've been trying to do, is that I was always totally bedazzled by all the art forms of the 20th century. And my interpretation comes out my way of those art forms, from Expressionism to Dadaism, and I try and break it down into some kind of simplistic that can be passed on. Even if the definition isn't understood, the feeling that I felt is passed on. Stay on here. This is yours.
I don't want the house or your money. I want to be with you.
I can't explain it to you completely. But if I stay here, I shall die.
What do you mean? Take me with you. I'll see you don't die.
I can't stay.
You're an alien! You know what would happen if they found out your visa had expired? You don't know. How could you? You're simple. You don't understand how we live here. Oh, come on, Tommy. Don't go now. Give us another chance. You won't find anyone else like me, you know. You won't find anyone who'd do for you like I've done for you. It's your wife, isn't it? I bet she's no bloody good. Ooh. I don't care what you are or who you are. No, I can't let you go, not now. Oh.
Song requested that you mentioned that you wanted to sing.
Oh, 5 years.
5 years. And David told me, interestingly enough, just as he walked over to the bandstand, that this is a song that was the direct result of a dream he had, such as the ones we were describing a moment ago. David Bowie.
Pushing through the market square, so many mothers crying. News had just come over. We had 5 years left to sighing. News guy wept when he told us Earth was really dying. Cried so much that his face was wet. Then I knew he was not lying. Heard telephones, opera house, favorite melodies. Saw toys and boys, electric irons and TVs. My brain felt like a warehouse. It had no room to spare. Things to store, everything in there. All the fat, skinny people, all the tall, short people, all the nobody people, all the somebody people. I never thought I'd need so many people. Went off ahead, hit some tiny children. If the black hadn't pulled her off, I think she would have killed them. Soldier with a broken arm fixed his stare to the wheels of a Cadillac. A cop knelt and kissed the feet of a priest. remember the sight of that. I think I saw you in an ice cream parlor, drinking milkshakes cold and long, smiling and waving, looking so fine. Don't think you knew you were in my song. It's cold and it rained, and I felt like an actor, and I thought of more, and I wanted to get back there, a face you race, the way that you talk. I kiss you, you're beautiful, I want you to walk. 5 years stuck on my eyes. 5 years, what a surprise. 5 years, my brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we've got. 5 years, stop holding my eyes. 5 years, what a surprise. 5 years, my brain hurts a lot. 5 years, that's all we've got. 5 years. That's all we've got.
Walker is Mildred, Millen and White, Rhoda's mother on Rhoda, and soon on Just Plain Nancy, her own series. That's exciting.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Natalie Cole, Houston, and going to do a concert in Houston this weekend, and she has her Solid Gold album. Isn't it? By the time this plays, you'll be in Houston. Right. Inseparable. And Candy has a lovely movie with David Bowie called Man Who Fell to Earth. David Bowie has an album called Station to Station. Wayne's going to teach us all how to do those marvelous moves the next time he comes back. Right? Right.
Don't miss Dinah on Monday when she welcomes Carl Reiner, Rob Reiner, Freddie Fender, and Lloyd Bridges. That's Monday at 6:30. A new time for Dinah. Now, stay tuned for Sarah next.